So we've got lots to do this weekend. I've emptied lots of stuff that we've grown from seed and from the polytunnel, and it's going to go in the beds. So we've got about 4 barrows worth. We've got bed, half bed, half bed. Because this bed is going to be for brassicas, we are firming the actual planting beds too. Because brassicas grow tall and heavy, they need something to be able to support that, something to anchor into. I'm just using a couple of bamboo sticks and some string to get some straight lines for planting. I've grown these brassicas from seed and they've been in the polytunnel, so over the last week I've acclimatised them to the outdoors by popping them out first for an hour and then a couple of hours and slowly extending it till they've been out a full day. I decided to pop each of the plants onto the beds that they're going to be put into before I actually start the planting in, just so I can make sure that the planting plan does work. As Brussels sprouts and purple sprouting broccoli are both tall, I'm going to pop them in the bed together. This is going to make sense when I have to raise the nets further on in the season. This year I'm determined to grow my own Brussels sprouts for Christmas lunch. I'm going to try 2 varieties to edge my bets. On the back row we've got Maximus and on the front row I've got Crispus. And then I'm going to have 4 or 5 plants of purple sprouting broccoli at the opposite end of the bed. I have tested the pH of this bed and it was neutral, which is good for brassicas. It has had a good amendment of wild rotted manure a few weeks back, and into the planting hole I'm popping some bloodfish and bone. So I'm firming in the Brussels sprouts because they are tall and heavy plants that need support, so a good firm base will give them something to anchor into. This is going to be my cabbage bed. I've got two varieties on the go. The white cabbage is earliest of all, and the red cabbage is an early red variety called Red Flare. Again, I'm just amending the planting hole with that good all-round slow release fertiliser, Bloodfish and Bone. Giving everything a good watering in to help the roots settle and ensure the plant's got enough water. As we've got brassicas in, we're going straight in with the scaffolding net. I've had this off eBay. It is cheaper than the Enviromesh, and I've personally found that for brassicas it does the trick because it keeps the birds and the cabbage whites off. You just have to make sure that you keep it enough above the plants as they grow so that the cabbages or whatever brassicas you're growing are not actually leaning against the nets, as butterflies can then lay their eggs on the leaves. We're making sure we have enough net to cover the entire row, even though part of it looks empty at the moment. That's because we are doing succession sowing, and some of the cabbages have been planted later and are coming on at home, along with some cauliflowers. I've chosen black netting with some advice from my mum, who had an allotment herself, and she gave me the little tip that cauliflower hearts stay white better with the black net because they appreciate the shading, so I'm definitely going to give that a go. Thanks for that tip, Mum. For the time being, I'm securing the net with some membrane pegs and a couple of bricks. We will do a better, more permanent solution than this, but I just wanted to make sure it was on straight away. It doesn't take pigeons long to strip brassica. So this bed here is going to be my swede bed. I'm going to have 2 rows of swedes. I'm going to pop some in that started off in the polytunnel, and then I'm going to direct sow the other line. I have found in the past that I prefer them direct sown, to be honest. We are intending to cardboard and wood chip the paths to match the rest of the plot, but as it's Easter weekend, it's only fair to allow the tree surgeon to have his break, so we'll contact him later in the week. I'm amending these planting holes with something a little bit different. This is a phosphorus plant food which is specially designed to boost root vegetables. I don't want seeds planted directly on top of the plant food, so what I'm doing here is just digging it well into the soil so that it'll be there when the roots get down. I'm also going to be putting some multi-purpose compost on the top of the drill so that the seeds will sit on that too. So in this last brassica bed, I'm popping in a couple of rows of curly kale and a row of broad beans. I could do with some advice on this. I've never grown broad beans before. I know kale's okay with a bit of shade, but this is a shady spot here because it's going to be behind the beans and under the tree. The sun does come from above, so there is going to be some sun. But do you think they'll be okay? Right, let's water those in. So we've got 2 rows of curly kale and a row of broad beans. I've never actually tried broad beans before, but Frank assures me he likes them, so. Well, we've got a couple of nice days. Frank's got the glass out of this side, so we can give it a good paint and then repair it like we did the other side. Clean the glass, new putty. I am here, I'll show you the potatoes. Coming on fab. I also, in the week when I had a spare hour or two, came up and sowed 3 rows of parsnips. So fingers crossed for those. The peas are still with us. They live on. Looking quite good actually. So far so good. And now the brassicas are planted in. I'm going to bring this week's vlog to an end. I'm sure it's already going to be really long. Thank you so much for all of your views, thumbs up and great comments. We feel like we're really getting to know some of you. Please take care, and if you can, come back and see us in the next update. Bye for now.